So, this is it, guys. My 2-month long interview streak is now over. I'm finally done with the last interview of the season, my IIM-Visakhapatnam interview. Spoiler alert, this was the first and only time the interviewers managed to trick me. Though, to be fair, I did not fall completely into their trap, but also I somewhat did. But one thing is for sure, they asked me the most carefully packaged deceptive question that any interviewer has asked me till now. What was the question? I'll cover it in this video. You'll see. And look, if you're interested in learning business, we have something in common. I'm Shovik and I'm documenting my journey into the business world here on YouTube. So let's be friends. Subscribe. Alright, let's begin. It was an online interview and there were two panelists, one male, one female. The interview started with the female panelist asking me to introduce myself, which I did. And if you have not seen my introduction reveal, go to this video. And after that, she asked me about what I bring to the cohort in terms of skills and experience, which I answered by saying that, look, I have business experience, I can think top down, I have leadership skills, communication skills, also a lot of hands-on technical skills like marketing, sales, operations. These are all skills which I have experienced and have cultivated over the total of 3 years of me building ventures. And then she dived a bit into the details of my business, how it works, what was my role and what did I do on a day-to-day basis, which were all very easy questions for me. So I answered them and I could see that she was happy with the answer, so that went well. Then she continued her questioning by asking me why didn't I sit for placements during my BTech, to which I answered that I wanted to start a new venture, which was a marketing agency which I ran for 13 months, yada, everything about my venture, which again I love to talk about and she loved to hear. Following that, she asked me about my short-term, medium-term and long-term goals, which I clearly answered by saying that my short-term goal is to learn business, medium-term is to work in a job which is consulting or marketing, and in the long-term, I want to start a business of my own. And she seemed to be pretty content with the answer, so no problems with that as well. And after this, she handed the baton over to the male panelist who was really smart. He asked me 3 questions, I couldn't answer any of these. Or is the problem with me that I couldn't answer these questions? The problem is probably with me that I did not prepare that. I don't know. Anyways, look, he asked me about a differential equation which I couldn't answer. Then he went on to ask me about probability. There was a question and a scenario related to probability which I answered but not with so much of certainty. I later found out that I answered the right thing only, but then there was not much confidence in my answer, so I thought that okay, that might not be a good way to present it. Later I thought about this, but I don't know. Anyways, procrastination. Anyways, the next question that he asked was the most smart, deceptive question that I've ever heard. But anyways, the question was, who was the Prime Minister of India who was married but not to a woman? I thought a bit on this and I thought that okay, I don't know about such a person. If you're thinking the same, if you're thinking like who was the Prime Minister who was not married to a woman, Indira Gandhi. She was a woman and she was not married to a woman. Okay, so that was the answer, which I realized only after the interview was over. I clicked on the leave button on the Zoom online interview, and once I left the panel, I realized that okay, it's Indira Gandhi, and I was like, oh my god, what happened? Why couldn't I remember this during the interview? Why does this have to happen once the actual thing is done? Why do I remember good comebacks and good things just after the actual moment has expired? It's done. But anyways, that happened, and that was my complete IIM-Visakhapatnam experience. I don't know why I'm so excited today. Yes, I know the reason. There was an inauguration today of a temple outside our society. It's a Hanuman temple on Hanuman Jayanti. There was this inauguration. I went there, ate bhog, if you know what that means. So I did that and I came back and recorded this video. I hope you like this. Subscribe. Namaskaram. Bye-bye.